Lately, you've been feeling it. That quiet ache in your chest when you check your phone and see nothing. When the weekend rolls around and no one calls. When you realize, really realize, that you're the only one showing up for yourself. It's not random. It's not bad luck. It's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you've started to outgrow the world you used to fit into. And that's why it hurts. Being alone isn't a sign you're failing. It's the quiet proof that you're refusing to pretend anymore. You used to bend yourself into shapes that fit other people's comfort, laughing at jokes that weren't funny, nodding along to opinions that felt wrong, staying quiet just to keep the peace. But now you'd rather sit in silence than wear a mask that suffocates you. That's not loneliness. That's alignment. You're not broken because no one's calling. You're not unlovable because your calendar's empty. The truth? Most people don't leave because you're too much. They leave because you stopped being just enough for their comfort. You stopped laughing at the wrong things. You stopped nodding when your gut screamed no. You stopped shrinking so they could feel tall. And that silence you feel now, it's not abandonment. It's confirmation you finally chose yourself over being chosen. And that deserves respect, not regret. Centuries ago, while kings played politics and courts buzzed with flattery, one man sat alone in exile, writing not to please, but to see clearly. Machiavelli didn't believe in fairy tales about friendship or loyalty. He saw people as they are, not as we wish them to be. And what he knew, deep in his bones, was this. Real strength isn't built in crowds. It's forged in silence. He didn't say it to sound cold. He said it because he'd watched good men break trying to keep everyone happy. He'd seen power crumble the moment it depended on other people's approval. So when he wrote that a leader must learn to be alone, he wasn't talking about hiding. He was talking about choosing yourself, even when the whole world acts like that's the worst thing you could do. And if a man who survived betrayal, prison, and exile says solitude is where destiny is shaped, maybe it's worth listening. Solitude isn't empty space. It's sacred ground. It's the only place where your thoughts aren't drowned out by someone else's agenda, where your choices aren't twisted by the need to be liked. No performances, no explanations, no pretending you're fine when you're not. In that quiet, you finally hear yourself, your real voice, not the one you polished for company. Machiavelli didn't fear silence. He trusted it, because in silence, you don't just think, you see. You see the games people play. You see the compromises you made. You see the life you were building for their approval, and the one you could build for yourself. Solitude isn't where you lose the world. It's where you get yourself back. Let's be honest. Most of the people who called you friend weren't really there for you. They were there because you listened when they needed to vent, because you laughed when they needed to feel funny, because you showed up when they needed an audience. You were useful, and that's not the same as being loved. The moment you stop giving, stop being the emotional safety net, the constant yes, the agreeable echo, they vanished. Not angrily, not dramatically, just quietly, like you never mattered beyond what you provided. That's not friendship. That's convenience wearing a smile. And losing that, it's not a loss. It's an upgrade. When you stop being easy to use, when you stop saying sure just to fill silence, stop showing up just to be seen, people start to vanish. Not all of them. But the ones who only stayed as long as you served a purpose, they're gone. And that's not your fault. That's the filter working. Loneliness doesn't take away your real people. It strips away the ones who were never really with you, just near you. If someone walks away the moment you stop performing, comforting, or pretending, they weren't holding your hand. They were holding your utility. Let them go. What's left might be quiet, but it's real. And if nothing's left, then you've just cleared the ground for something true to grow. When everyone's gone, and the noise finally stops, you're left with just you. Not the version that smiles on command. Not the one who nods along to keep the peace. Not the edited, softened, agreeable character you played in rooms full of people. Just you, raw, unfiltered, maybe even a little messy. And that's scary, isn't it? Because for so long, you defined yourself by how others saw you. The reliable one, the funny one, the easygoing one. But take away the audience, and who's left? Machiavelli didn't care about likability. He cared about truth. And the truth is, you don't know who you really are until you've sat with yourself long enough to stop performing. This loneliness, it's not erasing you. It's revealing you. And if that version feels unfamiliar, that's okay. You're not losing yourself. You're finally meeting yourself. Being alone doesn't mean you're cut off from the world. It means you're no longer letting the world live rent-free in your head. You don't need a group chat to tell you what's right. You don't wait for approval before trusting your gut. You've stopped scanning rooms for nods before speaking your truth. Machiavelli knew, real power starts the moment you stop outsourcing your judgment to the crowd. It's not about building walls. It's about owning your mind, fully, fiercely, quietly. You can be in a room full of people and still be independent, or completely alone and still chained to what everyone might think. Solitude isn't location. It's liberation. And you're finally thinking for yourself, not because you're isolated, but because you're awake. You scroll, you tap, you watch lives flash by, laughing, hugging, living their best life. And yet, you've never felt more alone, because that's not connection. It's just noise dressed up as closeness. Likes don't listen. Comments don't stay. Stories disappear, even the ones where you're screaming inside. Machiavelli never had a feed, but he'd see right through it. This isn't fellowship. It's theater. And you're both the audience and the ghost backstage, wondering why no one sees you. Real solitude is quiet, but it's honest. This is loneliness in costume. Surrounded by voices, and still whispering to yourself, is anyone really here? Turn it off. Breathe. The silence might hurt at first, but at least it won't lie to you. That ache you feel, it's not just missing people. It's your body remembering the rush, the quick fix of a text back, the comfort of being needed, the warm lie that someone else could fill the quiet inside you. But you've stopped feeding it, and now it hurts. Like any addiction, quitting validation leaves you shaky. Your mind keeps reaching for likes, for calls, for that old reassurance that you're okay because someone else said so. But this pain, it's clean pain. Not the dull drag of faking your way through conversations. Not the slow rot of shrinking yourself daily. This is withdrawal from dependence. And every time you sit with it instead of running back to the noise, you're not losing yourself. You're getting stronger. Think back. How many times did you swallow your truth just to keep someone comfortable? You nodded when you disagreed. You laughed when you felt nothing. You stayed quiet when your soul was shouting. Not because you're weak, but because you thought love meant surrender. That belonging meant erasing yourself, piece by piece, until you fit neatly into someone else's life. But every time you traded your honesty for harmony, you betrayed yourself a little more. Machiavelli didn't call that kindness. He called it weakness disguised as peace. And now, in this silence, it's not punishment, it's reckoning. The cost of all those small surrenders is finally due. But this time, you pay it by choosing yourself. No more apologies for existing as you are. When no one's watching, when no one's judging, when there's no audience to impress or fear, that's when your mind finally clears. No more second-guessing your choices based on who might raise an eyebrow. No more picking paths just because they'd look good to someone else. You're alone now, so the only voice that matters is yours. And suddenly, decisions get simpler. Not easier, but clearer. Because you're not asking, what will they think? You're asking, does this feel true? Machiavelli knew, power isn't loud. It's quiet certainty. And in this silence, you're not lost. You're finally aligned. People stick around when you're useful. When you're giving your time, your energy, your silence when they need you to listen, your applause when they need to feel seen. But the moment you stop pouring, they drain away. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you were never the friend, they were the feeder. Machiavelli didn't call them evil. He just saw them for what they were, drawn to strength, but only to take from it. They don't want you. They want what you provide. And when you go quiet, when you stop performing, stop soothing, stop being the emotional ATM, they vanish like smoke. That's not your failure. That's their nature. Let them go. Real allies don't leave when the giving stops. They stay, even when you have nothing to offer but your truth. You think you're the only one sitting alone while the world parties? Look closer. The ones who changed everything, the thinkers, the rebels, the quiet revolutionaries, they all knew this silence. Da Vinci wandered forests by himself, sketching ideas no one understood. Nietzsche wrote in mountain cabins, ignored by the crowds below. Buddha walked away from palaces to sit under a tree with nothing but his own mind. Machiavelli himself wrote his most honest words in exile, not in palaces, but in the quiet of a small farmhouse. Cut off from power, yet seeing clearer than anyone in the court. They weren't lonely because they failed. They were alone because they refused to blend in. And you? You're walking the same path, not because you're broken, but because you're building something the noise could never hold. Being alone only hurts if you're just waiting for someone to notice, to call, to fix the silence. But solitude isn't meant to be endured. It's meant to be used. This is your raw material, the quiet, the space, the unwatched hours. While others are busy performing, you're free to build, to read what feeds you, to write what haunts you, to stare at the ceiling and finally ask, what do I actually want? Machiavelli didn't waste his exile. He wrote, he reflected, he sharpened his mind like a blade. Loneliness becomes bitter when it's passive, but when you work in it, it becomes fuel. So don't just sit in the silence, shape it. Because out of this stillness, you won't just survive, you'll rise. If you can't stand your own company, no amount of people will ever fill that hole. You'll keep chasing voices, texts, gatherings, anything to avoid the room with just you and your thoughts. But the problem was never the silence. It was what you found in it when you finally stopped running. Machiavelli knew a leader who can't trust himself will always be ruled by others' opinions. But here's the truth. Gentler, harder, realer. You have to become someone you'd want to be alone with. Not perfect, not polished, just honest, kind, steady. Because if you abandon yourself every time it gets quiet, why would anyone else stay? This solitude isn't punishment. It's an invitation to finally become your own home. People will always prefer the version of you that agrees with them. But respect comes from the ones who see you stand, alone, unmoved, when everyone else bends. Machiavelli didn't care about being liked. He cared about being unshakable. Because popularity fades the moment you stop flattering. But respect? Real respect grows when you stop asking for it. You don't need a crowd cheering to be right. You just need to look yourself in the eye at the end of the day and know you didn't trade your truth for a seat at a table that never truly welcomed you. Being alone doesn't mean you failed to belong. It means you chose something rarer, to be worthy of your own loyalty. And that earns a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't beg for attention. It commands silence just by standing. They'll call you cold, selfish, different. They'll say you've changed, as if growing into yourself is a betrayal. But that's what happens when you stop playing your old role. The peacekeeper, the yes man, the ever-available friend who never rocked the boat. Now that you're quiet, now that you say no, now that you put your peace first, they feel the shift. And they don't like it, not because you hurt them, but because you're no longer easy to manage. Machiavelli expected this. He knew the moment you prioritize your own clarity over their comfort, you become a threat to the illusion they're living in. So let them whisper, let them drift. Their discomfort isn't your warning sign. It's your confirmation. You're doing exactly what you're meant to do. This loneliness, it's the desert. Not the kind in movies, dramatic, endless, cruel, but the quiet kind that stretches inside you, mile after empty mile. Most people turn back the moment they feel its heat. They run for the nearest crowd, any voice, just to escape the silence. But you keep walking, because you know something they don't. Nothing real grows in the noise. Truth, strength, vision. They only take root in dry, lonely soil. The desert doesn't reward the weak. It reveals the willing. And if you make it through, not by escaping, but by enduring, you won't come out the same. You'll come out clear, hardened, ready, walk on. When you stop needing someone to tell you you're okay, when you stop waiting for a text to feel real, When your worth isn't tied to who's in the room with you, that's when you become dangerous. Not to others, to the whole system that runs on dependence. Machiavelli saw it. People who can stand alone can't be controlled. No guilt works on them. No fear of being left sways them. No promise of belonging can buy their silence. You're not missing out by being alone. You're opting out of games, of performances, of begging for scraps of attention. And in that freedom, you become something rare, a person who needs no permission to exist fully. That's not isolation. That's sovereignty. And it terrifies anyone still living on borrowed validation. Machiavelli said a wise person must know how to be both the fox and the lion. The fox, watchful, quiet, seeing the strings behind every smile, every friendship, every offer that sounds generous but costs your peace. You've learned that now. You don't trust flattery. You read the room without needing to be in it. But solitude also breeds the lion, the part of you that stops negotiating with shadows, the part that stands, speaks, acts, not because it's popular, but because it's right. You don't need a pack to roar. You roar because the silence taught you the weight of your own voice. Alone, you became both. Eyes sharp like the fox, heart bold like the lion. And that's not weakness. That's the quiet kind of power that changes everything. This loneliness isn't taking anything from you. It's clearing the rot. All the fake laughter, the forced smiles, the sure, I'll come when you meant I'd rather be anywhere else. It's all being stripped away. What hurts isn't loss. It's detox, like a fever burning out infection. Solitude burns off what never belonged to you. The habits that drained you. The people who only stayed for what you gave. The version of you that existed just to be tolerated. Machiavelli didn't mourn that kind of loss. He called it necessary pruning. Because you can't build a real life on borrowed masks. You need bare hands, clear eyes, an uncluttered soul. And yeah, it stings. But what's left when the smoke clears? Just you, pure, undiluted, ready. There's a line, thin, quiet, between solitude and resentment. One builds, the other burns. It's easy, after being used, ignored, or misunderstood, to let the silence fill with poison. They'll regret losing me. No one deserves me anyway. I'd rather be alone than hurt again. But Machiavelli didn't choose solitude to punish others. He chose it to sharpen himself. Bitterness feels like strength until it cages you. True power isn't in shutting everyone out. It's in staying open to what's real, even after seeing what's fake. Don't let the pain twist into armor so heavy you can't move forward. Use this quiet, not to nurse wounds, but to heal them. Because the moment you confuse loneliness with vengeance, you've stopped being free. And freedom was the whole point. If this resonated, if you've sat in that silence and refused to run back to the noise, you're not broken. You're part of something older, quieter, stronger. The ones who choose truth over comfort, who'd rather be alone than dishonest, who understand that real power begins the moment you stop begging to belong. So if you see yourself here, leave a quiet mark. Comment necessary solitude, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself and to the few others walking this path that you're still here, still choosing yourself, still building in the silence. You're not alone in being alone, and that's enough.